Bet you weren't expecting yet another video, especially this late. But a lot of you guys flooded my Twitter account and asked me to address Eli Apple because I didn't even address Eli Apple once in my post-game reaction video that we uploaded immediately after the Super Bowl. So before we get to the content, we're giving away $500 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel when we hit 500,000 subscribers. In addition to that, we're giving away $500 to a follower on our Instagram page. And now that we get all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, it is very rare to see an entire NFL community come together and agree on one thing. I mean, after all, we are all so different. We root for different teams. We're from different parts of the country. But there are a few things that everyone unanimously agrees on. 1, the Dallas Cowboys sting. 2, Jackson Mahomes is cringe. And 3, I think we have a person that may have overtaken the Mahomes family in regards to cringiness. Now, here's the thing. I understand what I may have just said is an extremely bold statement, but hear me out. What Jackson Mahomes does obviously tarnishes the remarkable Mahomes name, but at least he's doing that off the field. He can't help who he is. Brittany Matthews too. She can't help who she is. They are both just really insufferable, annoying human beings. And us as Patrick Mahomes fans or football fans may have to deal with that for the foreseeable future. But in Eli Apple's case, he is a different level of cringiness because this is a man that got bounced from team after team after team, was known as one of the best cornerbacks coming out of the draft. As a matter of fact, he was the highest cornerback drafted in his NFL draft, not named Jalen Ramsey, and he was an insufferable NFL draft bust. I mean, he was a bust the moment he got to the football field, and that's just being honest. Now look, man, I don't think it's right to ever root for someone's demise, but just like Jackson Mahomes and Brittany Matthews, whenever someone acts entitled, it's just human nature to naturally not like that person. And in Eli Apple's case, it was a different level because this is a man that has been struggling throughout his entire NFL career and has had multiple off the field incidents and got this remarkable opportunity with a brand new team whose cornerback unit was also called Last Chance University, according to Chris Collinsworth. I don't know how many people call their DB corps that name. And just to give you an idea of how bad Apple was since he got into the league, his attitude towards being criticized on the New York Giants led to a near walkout. Afterwards, he admitted during the 2017 he was embarrassed by his own performance. His fellow teammate, who was a Pro Bowler at the time, Landon Collins, referred to him as a cancer after his rookie season. He would then have another incident with the New York Giants coaches. After having a heated exchange with them, he would get suspended. Then he would get suspended again for 1 game for a quote-unquote pattern of behavior that is conduct detrimental to the team. This is due to the confrontation with coaches at a practice. Before the New York Giants just said, okay, you know what, man, screw it. We can't get anything out of this guy. Let's trade him to the New Orleans Saints. Whenever a team trades you within a year of acquiring you and you were a top 10 draft pick in a pretty damn good NFL draft, then it's cause for concern. Now, the hope for Eli Apple was he would go to New Orleans, he would team up with his former collegiate teammates from Ohio State University, and he'll be able to get the inspiration he needs to be a good football player. That isn't what ended up happening. He would bounce from the New Orleans Saints to the Carolina Panthers for a little bit before he ended up with an opportunity of a lifetime with the Cincinnati Bengals. And to be honest, he was okay with the Cincinnati Bengals. He definitely has had worse seasons. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big Pro Football Focus guy, but when it comes to cornerback grades, I tend to go to Pro Football Focus because it's really hard to grade cornerbacks based off of their statistics. Eli Apple's best season of his career was in 2019, according to Pro Football Focus, because he had an 81.2 run defense grade. He's always just been horrific in coverage. So now that you fast forward to 2021, he put together another mediocre season, especially in coverage. He usually hits the 60s when it comes to coverage. But as a result of a remarkable play, and I'll admit this, a remarkable play that he made against the Tennessee Titans, because Ryan Tannehill made the clear wrong read on a specific play that resulted in the Cincinnati Bengals winning. Not taking anything away from the Cincinnati Bengals, Eli Apple decided to hit Twitter and get a little crazy by going at his former teams. This is where it gets really cringy, because he made one good play after a horrific career and then decided to start calling out his ex-teammates and burning bridges. He would take shots at players like Julio Jones, saying, "Where was Julio Jones on the last play of the game on 3rd and 5 with the season on the line? That man was hiding." And he said that the Titans stadium was real quiet at the end. And then when someone defended Julio Jones, Eli Apple called him an incompetent moron and called out Mike Vrabel for not having Julio on the field towards the end of the game. Needless to say, man, you look at these tweets. We have a whole video on this guy's tweets from a couple of weeks ago, and you can understand why people don't like this guy very much. Now, as a result, I think what happened to the Cincinnati Bengals during the AFC Championship, where we were all rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals because nobody wanted to see Jackson Mahomes doing TikTok dances while Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige were performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. The same thing was happening here with the LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals, only we were all hoping that Odell Beckham Jr., which apparently Eli Apple knew Odell Beckham Jr.'s tendencies from the time they spent in New York together as teammates, we were all hoping that OBJ and Cooper Kupp would absolutely torch this man. And man, oh man, torch this man they did. I mean, it is so bad that the entire NFL is absolutely roasting Eli Apple on social media. Every player from Mecole Hardman to Tyreek Hill to Rashad Bateman to Michael Thomas and even Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown are all absolutely roasting this man for how badly he got embarrassed in the Super Bowl. I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, Jalen Ramsey does have a reputation of being a trash talker, the man that was the #1 cornerback drafted in his draft. With respect to Jalen Ramsey, yes, I know, depending on which side you are on, he either got toasted this game by Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, there was one remarkable play that no one could argue that Ja'Marr Chase had on Jalen Ramsey with that one-handed catch. The jury is out on the T. Higgins reception. Either it was a no-call face mask on T. Higgins, or T. Higgins got Jalen Ramsey fair and square, depending on whose side you're on. I do believe that Jalen Ramsey has the right to talk trash. He's a remarkable cornerback, possibly the best cornerback of our generation. You make one big play and then you start getting on Twitter and just calling a bunch of people out, especially when you're known as a draft bust that's pretty much on their last chance, that might not have a career next year. That's a good way to get yourself kicked out of the league. I don't know. I feel like this is just the NFL community's victory lap over Eli Apple. We're all smoking that Eli Apple pack as a result of tonight. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be fine as an organization. I mean, you did the hardest part, which is find your franchise cornerstones in Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, and Joe Mixon. Hell, CJ Uzomah started breaking out towards the end of the year. Trey Hendrickson is an amazing edge rusher. I feel like the future is bright for the Cincinnati Bengals, but we're going to take this moment to absolutely roast Eli Apple. And I'm sure Bengals fans are too, because if Eli Apple wasn't in this game, I feel like this game would have gone a little differently, man. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, man. Drop a like, because this is our second video in, I think, like 2 hours. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.